Yankees Files podcast. We regrettably are back. I'm Will Harris. You're
What do we got?
Steve Bannon?
Oh, God. We're already that low in the well. We're going to Steve Bannon.
No,
Man.
I forgot to pull up the list, and then I was gonna go with Steve Lukather from Toto, but that I didn't think people would know who that is. And so then that's where I ended up here. Let's I can do better. I can do better.
Yeah, you gotta rebound that one.
Let me see. Where is this? I have a document. Why isn't it just...
It would be easier if you allowed Stevens into your equation there, because Steves are admittedly somewhat few and far between. You have other options still for baseball players, but not that.
Yeah, all right. You know what? You're let's see. I still want to be kind of selective when I go baseball. Let's go with I'm Will Harris and you're Steve Traxel.
Hey.
And the rest of you are fans of a team that had a frustrating week of Major League Baseball. Yeah. That was pretty predictable when you looked at the weather, I would say. Steve, there's enough to get into on this podcast. I don't think either of us is overly enthusiastic about having to talk about the 2-4 week that we just witnessed that probably should have been better than a 2-4 week. But yeah, I don't know. Before we get into that, how are you doing? Not great?
Not my favorite. No. I mean, look, we predicted this would suck. But it's the manner in which a number of the games were lost that is frustrating. This team just feels like it should be way better than their current record. They really do, and that's always frustrating. But especially when it's just these, like, I understand. Like I've been talking about the weather a lot and these things, and the response has always been, well, both teams have to deal with it. And like I get that. Just when you feel that you are the better team, you don't want these outside variables impacting anything, because you feel like just playing on an even, no parity at all, like that would be where you would have the most success. So anytime there is something that's going to impact, it's just annoying. They've been played through blizzards and monsoons, and I've never seen a year like this with this bad of weather for a stretch. So
yeah, I mean, it's like every game has been like the Yankees Classics 1996 home opener in the snow.
Yeah, right.
But none of them have been classics.
No.
And yeah, it's tough. I mean, going to Detroit and having the game start times moved because of cold weather, and then playing in front of like 8,000 people in snow and just like 24-degree temperatures, and it just sucked. Like it wasn't fun. I'm sure it wasn't fun to be involved in. And then on top of that, you have to face Tarek Skubal, and then Marcus Stroman has to pitch in a freezing monsoon. And it's like, what do you think is going to happen? I don't know. I think really the only game that I feel like they ought to have won that they lost is today's game.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's probably true. But I feel
like they didn't put themselves in a position to win the other games. No. At least. Yeah. But yeah, I'd rather they just play all these games in 55-degree overcast weather, and then I think they would have done a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to be doing better for them today, and then it wasn't.
Yeah. Jazz hit a home run, though.
He did, off of Tyler Rogers. So it's always weird to do anything off Tyler, because, like, obviously he's good, but is that indicative of anything? Because he's, like, an anomaly of a pitcher. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, good for Jazz. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Wish that error from Goldschmidt didn't happen, so that would have tied the game as opposed to keeping them one back. But
wish Volpe had made that play on that guy Koss.
Wish Carlos Rodon didn't throw a high curveball to a guy who just hit a home run off an off-speed pitch the first at bat. I don't know. We can second guess a lot of that stuff. It's frustrating because Rodon looked good today. Like I walk away from this game very optimistic about Carlos Rodon, and yet he gave up 4 runs in under 6 innings and took a loss. So
Carlos Rodon, 34.8% strikeout rate today.
Yeah.
3.13 Sierra, 3.03 xFIP.
He looked good.
Yeah.
But something's got to happen with, I mean, I don't know if you saw my tweet about it, but 3 out of his 4 starts, he's allowed more earned runs than hits. That's just, I mean, obviously there's some just crazy bad luck involved with that, but he unravels when he walks a guy or something happens. It's just ridiculous. I mean,
yeah, there's an element of cluster luck to it for sure. Yes. But I don't know if you would call it composure or pitching to the situation or whatever it is. It is not necessarily the case that it is only luck that is influencing the timing of the home runs that he's allowed. And
or just that's home annoying. Runs in general, man. I mean, he's allowed the most home runs in baseball over a certain, I forget what the period of time is, but
yeah, but if you go back to like anything before like last June, we're talking about a fundamentally different pitcher. Like he was hurt and bad in 2022. He was throwing different pitches at different speeds, or 23. Yeah. He was throwing different pitches at different speeds that had different qualities beyond that. Like it's,
but he's still allowing home runs. I mean, the one constant has been the man allows
still allowing
bombs.
home runs, but it's not, it's not worth acting like we're comparing apples to apples. If you want to say he was allowing home runs when he was pitching kind of this way, like last August, and he's still allowing them now, that would be, I think, much more legitimate and something that actually gives us something to investigate about what makes Carlos Rodon effective or ineffective, or why, when he's discovered his ability to miss bats as a Yankee, has it come with this increase or, this sustained home run rate? I don't know, but like, I don't care about any statistic that considers 2023 Carlos Rodon or even like May 2024 Carlos Rodon. We're not talking about the same guy. There is a clear difference in what he is doing and how he is doing it in the last like 10 months of baseball. Or 10 calendar months, less than that, of baseball. And there is still a home run problem. But to be like, oh, well, in July of 2023, he was allowing a ton of bombs. I don't care. Like, let's talk about, like, I don't know, 2023 Luis Severino. Like, again, a different guy to the guy we're seeing today.
I get it. But I mean, there is an unbroken track record of this man allowing a lot of home runs. There's
also an unbroken track record of him like inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide.
Oh, that's just absurd.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That's an absurd comparison. The man plays baseball and allows home runs.
I'll tell you the reason it's not an absurd comparison. The reason it's not an absurd comparison is because he changed things massively. So the question is not, why was he allowing home runs 2 years ago and is doing so now? The question is, why was he allowing home runs 8 months ago and is doing so now?
I don't think that's totally
true, the question.
Though. That's not totally
true. Of course
true.
it is.
No, I mean, it didn't happen today, but if you look at just the results against his fastball, which is where most of the damage has been given up, that's the same fastball, the same kind of results on it that he's been having the last few years. His fastball didn't magically change. That's the same pitch. Yes, he's adding in sinkers. He's throwing his changeup more. But, I mean, that doesn't change some of the fundamental qualities of who he is as a pitcher and how batters respond to him. There are fundamental flaws with Carlos Rodon. And one of them is that he gives up a ton of hard contact on four-seam fastballs. That is a big one. So,
Which is, of course, not what happened today.
Not what happened today. Today was a little bit weirder with the home runs.
Today was extra weird. And we should probably note that, like, he pitches in Yankee Stadium half the time. He got a little bit porched on the Jung-Hoo Lee ball. It was hit like, 94, 95 miles an hour?
It wasn't. It was not an actual porch job. I think it was like 7 or 8 parks. But
sure,
but
yeah, it was, see what you're saying.
Yes. Look, I am encouraged by what Rodon did today, ultimately. It doesn't stop me from being annoyed.
It does suck,
but it's kind of part and part. It's part and parcel of what he is, a high wire type of pitcher. He's going to get lots of whiffs and give up lots of home runs. That's a lot of what this Yankees pitching staff is right now. is lots of whiffs, lots of bombs.
It's kind of I forget who it was in the group chat who compared it to 2022 Garrett Cole. Like, it is similar in nature to that guy,
but they don't get whiffs that well.
Well, it's moving that direction.
They don't get Ks. Like Garrett Cole had like 12 Ks per 9 in 2022.
Rodon's moving that direction.
He does
Watch
not have 12
out.
Ks per 9. He does not.
Watch
have 12
out.
He doesn't. But
he doesn't yet. But he's at 11.
Is that what it is after today?
Yeah.
11. It's just flat 11, or are you rounding?
I'm rounding from 10.96. Okay. Would you like me to be? How specific do you want to be?
Hey man, you know, there's a reason why stores advertise $7.99. You know, when I want to make it sound like it's cheaper.
We're talking about what, 4 strikeouts per, like, or I guess let's do it by K percentage because that's easier. Oh, it's not going to give me his full season K percentage. Give me a minute.
It's all right. We're ultimately, I think, in agreement on Carlos Rodon. I'm just annoyed and I want to argue and whine because it's pissing me off. But I am optimistic.
The thing that bothers me most is that it feels like he keeps having this outing where there's so much to like under the hood and yet the results aren't there. And last year he had some of those outings and they preceded like really, really good stuff for a period of time. And that was really nice. But like, I hate having to take away moral victories from, so I've pulled this up. I've made that point. 2022 Garrett Cole, 11.53 Ks per 9, 32.4 strikeout rate. Carlos Rodon, 10.96 Ks per 9, 30.1 strikeout rate. So we're talking about 2 strikeouts per 100 plate appearances separating these guys.
What's their home run per 9?
Rodon's
was like 1.5. Yeah, it's got to be way higher. Like
Rodon's is 1.96. Cole's was 1.48.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. And what's in the walks? He's walking 20 people. That's probably bigger than anything.
Yeah. Cole's he's walking almost twice as many, or more than twice as many people as Cole did.
That's going to be the whole thing, right? Yeah, there. He's got to not walk people, and he's walking dumb people too, like people that should not.
He is walking dumb people.
It makes no sense.
He needs to walk people with higher IQs.
Yeah, it. But it's just, man, this is Yankees Files. Nice. I haven't heard that bunch since we started doing this. I didn't know you had that one queued up, man.
Yeah, I mean, it would, if I used it every time it was worthy of being used, it would just be a podcast full of rim shots.
Yeah. Don't encourage me. I'll just start searching for it. Yeah.
I was hanging out with some friends last week and we were talking about the music venue, the Brooklyn Mirage, and one guy was saying that he doesn't really trust the quality of renovations that have been made to it. And he said, quote, "I'm skeptical of the Mirage." And I said, that's a good attitude to have towards Mirages.
Oh, man. Whoa.
Which it is.
I bet your friends love you, dude.
That one actually crushed. That one crushed, I will say.
I'm sure. That's what they say. Justin Steele needs elbow surgery, apparently. Missing the remainder of the season.
Justin Steele
does not have a steel arm.
probably has to investigate the connection between me moving a couch out of his apartment and getting elbow surgery.
You know, it could be a thing.
Every single major league pitcher out of whose apartment I have ever moved a couch,
it's 100%
has had elbow surgery or has needed to have elbow surgery.
Be careful with this man.
Exactly. Hayden Birdsong, if you're listening, he was so good, by the way.
He's nasty.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if you're
I had
listening
watched
to
him
this,
a little bit earlier in the year, and I was scared when he came in because everybody's like, "Oh, let's hit this Birdsong guy." No, man, he's so
not going to do it. Yeah, he's
Ryan
unreal.
Walker too. Ryan Walker's nasty.
Yeah, you know who we didn't get to see today, but was warming up is Eric Miller, who was on my offseason plan.
Somehow we did not see a left-handed reliever the entire time, which was kind of surprising.
It is crazy. I guess he's the only one they have,
only
right?
One they have, yeah. I don't think he's one of their top guys, so I think they just went around it. But yeah,
he was really good last year, man. Anyway,
that was frustrating. I mean, but it's just frustrating that we didn't hit anyway. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The first game, see, that's the thing, man. I don't know. This whole series just feels I don't want to take too much from the record of it. I really don't.
I don't either.
There's so many more positives from today than negatives, and that's one of the reasons why I'm pissed off, because I have so many positive thoughts in my head, but I'm staring at a loss.
Yeah, so Tim Hill was good. Mark Leiter was good. Tim Hill is striking people out. Like, this is...
He's not fundamentally doing anything different, so I don't know if it's going to stick, but...
it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. You'd think he would get, like, not that he'd be a strikeout guy, but just because of how weird it is,
yeah,
I think he'd have, like, a normal K rate, even if it's below average. I mean, like, he has been, like, a shockingly low, like, totally anomalous K rate guy for a little while now.
It started with a 4 last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you think he'd be like 6 or 7 Ks per night. I mean, something, right?
Yeah.
That would be like within the realm of reason, but who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. So Tim Hill, good sign. Mark Leiter, I think we've seen a lot of good things from since the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Somebody
Ian
said Hamilton
got to get rid of Mark Leiter. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? He had 1 hit, right? That's all that happened. It was 1 hit.
People just develop weird opinions about guys who don't play very often, I think.
Yeah.
And it happens like it going in both directions. Like, you know, the people who insist that like the infielder you benched is actually amazing. Like, oh, Oswald Peraza, if only he were getting a chance. Like, you can always say that about the guy who doesn't play very often. And then the guy who does play often is inevitably going to have a bad day once in a while. And it's like, oh, well, look at this. Like, no, Mark Leiter, I'm excited about for this year. Ian Hamilton, it's nice to have him back. I assume he's still in kind of like a readjustment period.
He's looking weird because he has some sinkers in particular that look nasty occasionally. Yeah. And then the velo falls out and he'll throw him way off the plate at like 92 miles an hour. And I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
So he's always kind of weird. He's always sort of hurt and in and out of being hurt.
He is very often hurt.
Yeah, it's like he'll have a stretch of a week where all the stars align and he's just untouchable. And then it's gone again. And he's got a little banged up. But
yeah,
he's one of the only moderately high velo guys we have in the bullpen right now.
Moderately high velo, very high strikeout.
Yeah. Crazy slider, the Slambio. Nobody talks about the Slambio anymore. That was such a big
people
thing.
Used to be so excited about the Slambio.
Nobody talks about it. And now it's just a slider again. I don't know why it's no longer. Maybe he changed it. I don't know. I
liked how Ian Hamilton was like at the top of a number of rookie pitching categories in 2023 when he debuted in Major League Baseball in 2018.
That's funny.
It's like the the Edinson Volquez pitched 3 years in the American League before finishing 4th in Rookie of the Year or 2nd in Rookie of the Year, whatever it was, in his 4th year and doing it in the National League.
Isn't Hamilton not even 30 yet? I think he's like 29.
This is his age 30 season. He has not turned 30 yet.
How is that correct. Man not 30? Like, when I look at that guy, I feel like he's a world-weary traveler. Like a guy that's just seen things, man. He should be like almost 40 years old, still pitching. I don't know. It's crazy. I'm older.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that you're older than Ian Hamilton does not make sense.
You'd never guess that.
No, I wouldn't. No. I had one of my friends in Baltimore had like turned 30 and then had a crisis about how he was older than like everyone on the Orioles. And I was like, you can't possibly be older than like Anthony Santander. And of course, he was older than Anthony Santander. I was like, holy cow, man.
Once you move out of like prospect age, it hurts, you know. Once you no longer be on prospect rankings, that's when it starts to hurt. And then
I've gone through it. I'm
nearing retirement. If I don't play well, I'm retired. You know,
you're not getting any multi-year deals.
No, nope. I'm not projectable anymore.
You've grown into your frame. That's all you got.
Nothing, man. That's it. It's crazy to think about that.
It is nuts to think about aging curves in general with professional athletes are crazy. Especially with the way that like the allocation of funds has affected the amount by which you have to defy them to continue being like someone that people think is worth rostering.
Just funny. But you think like Anthony Rizzo's like 35 or 34. He's not even that old, right?
Is Anthony Rizzo that close in age to Aaron Judge?
I think he is. I don't think he's 36 yet. I think he's like 35.
Yeah,
34.
he has not turned 36 yet. He will turn 36 this year.
Anthony Rizzo is still a young guy. Like, I mean, in the world,
like if you were working
right?
with Anthony Rizzo, you wouldn't think he was very old.
Think anything of it. No, he's just like a regular guy. But for baseball, he's old as shit. He's done. His back's shot. He can't. His head's all concussed. He's too old to play baseball.
Yeah,
it's just funny, man. It's just a different universe.
It really is, and it's also the effect of like guys come up at age 22 and they're on the biggest stage. It's like if you're a CEO for 15 years, that's like a long time, but no one's a CEO at 22.
No.
So it just completely shifts the scale. This is a wild, you can tell we want to talk about anything except the games that happen. I
want to talk about these damn games, man. The weather sucked. The Yankees lost a lot. They're walking a ton of people. They didn't hit very well, but it was kind of predictable for a number of games. They didn't hit well, and Ben Rice is one of the best hitters in baseball. Maybe, probably not, but he's really
got to see in person Ben Rice's hardest hit career batted ball, which was really fun.
He had some weird at bats today, actually.
Yeah,
but
the at bat in the ninth was weird in that
he took that slider the first time, then he swung so far off the plate.
Yeah, and he doesn't really do that normally, and
but then today, did you see the pitch he took for a strike? It was second, third, 2 out. He took a fastball right down the middle.
Yeah,
it was just like right there, and he just took.
Yeah, I guess even when your plate discipline is as good as that of Ben Rice, you do that sometimes. But
yeah, I mean, he is still inexperienced. I think it's one of the things that reminds me every now and then is like, okay, I have to temper expectations just a little bit. There's no, but
so the Yankees kind of play 7 home games this week.
I'm not excited about this Royals series, honestly. I'm excited it'll be at home. Not excited about the pitching matchups at all.
I don't know that even at full strength that I would be necessarily excited about any possible pitching matchup with the Royals.
But I mean, if we had like Garrett Cole pitching and then Luis Gil pitching, as opposed to Carlos Carrasco and who else is going? It's Carrasco game 1.
That's a good question. I mean, Fried will certainly pitch.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. That's a positive thing we could talk about.
Yeah, and we should. So we have Carrasco, Fried, and Clark Schmidt.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be able to go innings, so that's less fun.
But can Chris Bubich throw innings?
I don't know how much he's thrown this year. I know he's just a starter for the first time, though.
Wow. Somehow he has thrown 18 2/3 over his 3 starts, which surprises me considering he threw 46 1/3 innings at the major league level in the last 2 seasons combined.
Wow. He has been very good.
He's been very good. He's been the same guy he was as a reliever, basically.
That's pretty scary.
Which is hard to do.
Yeah. Wow. That's concerning. So why aren't the Royals they have a losing record? What if they're just not hitting? I'm assuming
they mustn't be hitting. I haven't paid great attention to them.
Oh God, they have a team 596 OPS right now.
Ooh.
72 OPS plus. I'm on Baseball Reference, and I'm not going to Fangraphs. So
all right,
not looking at WRC plus, but Fangraphs is just annoying to navigate on my phone. I just don't do it.
It's basically impossible to navigate on a phone. Yeah, they have. They have negative 0.6 position player WAR from Fangraphs. Jesus. Oh, sorry. I'll update it to include today's game. They have negative 0.4 position player WAR from Fangraphs, a 71 WRC plus, 219, 286, 319. They have 8 home runs as a team. That's not what you want if you're the Kansas City Royals. Let's see.
They're getting Cookie Carrasco, so we'll
that'll wake you up.
We'll get him going. Yeah, I hope that's
Bobby
his last
Witt.
Start. I really hope it is.
It
won't
ought
be,
to be.
I want it to be.
It won't be, but it ought to be. Bobby Witt obviously playing well, not surprising. He has a 136 WRC plus. Their only other above average hitter. Can you guess who it is?
Well, I'm looking.
Okay, well, stop.
Well, no, actually, I didn't see. I didn't see it in my quick look. I don't even know. It's not Salvi, right?
It is not Salvi. He's hitting 213, 262, 344 for a WRC plus of 70.
Who else? So they got Pasquantino. I don't think he's doing it, though. I think he's hitting like crap.
Nope. He's hitting 218, 290, 400 for a WRC plus of 89.
They got Massey. They have
Pasquantino is tied for the team lead in home runs, though, with 2.
Okay. Who else do they even fucking have? I don't even know who they have anymore. I've forgotten their team. They have
Massey has a 31 WRC plus.
Michael, whatever his
Michael
name is.
Not Franco. Yeah. Michael Garcia has a 128 WRC plus. He's hitting 300, 321, 500. Which is a hilarious line.
Yeah.
He has a 3.8% walk rate and a 19% strikeout rate.
Oh, that's certain to hold. That's funny.
Michael Garcia and Kyle Isbell and Michael Massey and Freddie Fermin all have walk rates under 5%.
Oh my God, dude. Some of these.
So you can throw these guys strikes.
Oh my, like look at Renfroe and Melendez right now.
Yeah, no, they're really, really bad.
Wow. Well, I mean.
Also, Freddie, so they have Freddie Fermin's WRC plus is 6. Renfroe's is 5. Melendez's is negative 14.
And somehow Cookie Carrasco will manage to let him know what's up.
Yeah, I saw a tweet. I forget who posted it saying that Jung-Hoo Lee was probably helped in the first inning of the first game by facing pitching, the quality of which was more similar to what he saw in Korea, which I thought was funny until Carlos Rodon gave up 2 home runs to him. But yeah, Carlos Carrasco is like not a major league pitcher at this point, which is unfortunately also true of Marcus Stroman, who I guess is on the IL, but is like, also kind of in the rotation.
I don't know what to make of it with Stroman. I mean, like, he should be better than he is. He's bad. I'm not going to say he's not, but how was he even? He was not just like I know it was a little bit luck based and everything, but the first half of last year, the results were good for like an extended period. How did that ever happen? How did that possibly occur?
It just doesn't make sense that he can't even get an out. Like, there's no reason Marcus Stroman shouldn't be able to throw 4 innings of 4.7 ERA baseball most times that he goes out. And that's not a good pitcher, but that's like someone who you can sometimes win if he's on the mound. And that is not the guy they're getting right now by any means.
No. And I think Will Warren pitched very well his last time out, ultimately.
Yeah, it was fun to see Will Warren pitch so well.
He did pitch really well. And I think I said this. I think even if Stroman didn't go on the IL because of just how apocalyptically bad he and Carrasco have been, pretty sure Warren solidified his spot. You can't afford to get rid of a guy who has both that much of higher upside and is just pitching better also. I mean, it'd be one thing if the results weren't there. But I mean, if 2 out of his 3 starts now, been pretty damn good. Ultimately.
Yeah, 5 innings, 2 runs against both San Francisco and Arizona, combined only to allow 3 hits in those 10 innings.
Highest overall stuff plus of the day yesterday by, I think, Thomas Nistico's model. Yeah, so
I'm a little bit worried, and I think it's probably that it was just the weather, but his velocity was down yesterday.
No, it fluctuates. It started off the game the best it's been this year. He came out the first inning throwing 94, 95.
And then
even
suddenly,
on the game, it still averaged, I think he was around 93-ish with his 4-seam and sinker, which would be right in line with what we want. But it was like, hotter early than cold late, and that kind of evened out.
Yeah, there were just a few times when I looked up and it was like that 4-seam fastball was 91. And I was like, ugh. But yeah, no, you're right. The fastball velocity was on average the highest. There were just some that I was like, are we sure? But he was very effective. So like
he was. Yeah, his stuff is good. It's really about like I don't know, it's a lot of pitching stuff you can break down, but he throws so many waste pitches, I've noticed, is one of the things he did better last start. He'll get ahead 0-2 and then just throw like 3 non-competitive pitches, like just not even close. And then walk a guy or give up a hit or whatever. And it's just like, man.
Yeah, he did that to the backup catcher, the 9-hitter yesterday. And it's just like, I imagine there will be. Yeah.
When it's a righty, I don't get it. Sorry, continue. Yeah.
I imagine there will be some level of confidence as he like continues to realize that his pitches are good enough to get major league hitters out with regularity. But yeah, it's really weird that he will demonstrate this ability to be effective in the zone, and then he'll just be like, well, I'm not going to do that for half a plate appearance or 3/4 of a plate appearance, and then suddenly he's in jeopardy of walking a guy. Like, that's what the I think he only ended up with 2 walks yesterday, but like he had 4 against Arizona.
Yep.
And he just doesn't have to. Like his pitches are better than that.
Especially against righties. I mean, he had a couple at bats, even this last game, where it was maddening because he would get ahead of a righty like 0-2, 1-2. And it's like, dude, just throw your sweeper for a strike. Like, just do it. They don't hit it. It's if the worst that's going to happen is a foul ball, single, whatever. Like, just throw the damn sweeper, and he doesn't do it. And
I also think there's some element of like, I'm fine with Will Warren getting beat on a righty sweeper in the zone. Like it's the pitch he should be throwing.
Yeah.
If someone barrels it up, good for them. It's not going to happen very often.
And he's like trying to learn that lesson of being more aggressive, but he had some weird sequence. I think it was with Ramos, like threw a fastball for a strike, got a crazy swing on a sweeper for strike 2, then just threw another fastball up 0-2 in the zone, and he hit it for I don't think it was just a single. But it's just like, man, what is stop? Throw your damn sweeper. I don't get it.
It is weird. So one thing that happened yesterday, which I probably had never seen in person before, was 2 ground rule doubles in the same game. I feel like so there was
that can't be that odd to have 2 ground rule doubles in one game.
How many games have you attended that have 2 ground rule doubles?
Oh, you mean that you've seen in person?
Yeah.
Okay. That's different. Yeah.
There was, so the first one was wasn't it Ramos into the Yankee bullpen? And then the second was it was Goldschmidt, right? On the right field line.
I honestly don't remember now.
And then there was also a triple. Like it's certainly the only game I've ever been to with a triple and 2 ground rule doubles. Also, the Bellinger triple, great. I'm glad he hit a triple. It was a relatively hard hit ball to the opposite field. I have never seen, and I love Elliot Ramos, as we know, I have never seen a defender play a ball worse. He was also playing unbelievably shallow, so I do think it was kind of challenging to go back as far on it as he had to. But like, wow, was that a poorly played ball?
Yeah, I mean, I hope Yankees fans were watching because, like, it's not just Jason Dominguez out there. And if anything, Jason's looked a little better than that in left.
I would say so.
Yeah,
I would say
fine. So. He hasn't done anything bad recently.
Yeah. You want to talk about Devin Williams?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what are you thinking about Devin Williams right now?
I think that it was very silly when the people who freaked out about his like bad 2 or 3 appearances freaked out.
Of course, always.
I think that whatever he did in that last game against Detroit was annoying, and that should not have been as interesting as it was.
Yep.
And then I think that what he pulled off yesterday was sick. It looked like something just kind of clicked, which is a weird thing to have happen. And I don't know if that's what happened, but we finally saw the version of Devin Williams that we all thought we were going to see right off the bat. And it was just encouraging for him to be like, oh yeah, that's still there.
Oh yeah.
And I don't see any reason to believe he can't just continue to do that,
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I was still, just like you, I mean, totally optimistic he was going to be fine in the long run. But it wasn't a case where, his stuff looks perfect and it's just bad luck. It's like, no. He looked bad. He was
doing bad stuff for sure.
Yeah, he was doing very bad stuff. It was weird. I've watched a fair bit of Devin Williams. People were just not swinging at that airbender pitch.
Yeah.
His changeup like they usually do. They were on it. They saw it. They took it for balls. They were on it for strikes. It was very strange.
Yeah.
And then it was just like he threw one good one.
Yeah.
He threw one good one, and then everyone after that was just, and it even looked different out of his hand.
Yeah.
It was moving like crazy. And then he even threw, I think, a 94-something mile-power fastball, which still not where you'd want it, but velo got a little bit better, and all of a sudden the whiffs just came, and it was over fast.
It was also so weird that he would find it in the way that he seemed to find it in those conditions. Like it was cold and it was wet. And this is a guy who, sure, has played in bad weather in the NL Central, but like most of his appearances have come in a dome.
Right.
So it was definitely surprising that that was the situation where it all came together, but I'm psyched that it happened and it was fun to watch.
I think he was just pissed, honestly. I think he
Maybe.
got really pissed off and just locked it in. I think like he walked a guy and then gave up the hit. And so it was the whole thing was just kind of weird because he didn't really get off to even a good start. The walk, because then he got a new rosin bag, so it seemed like he didn't have a grip on the ball for the first one. Then he threw like one pitch and gave up a hit, and he was just like, "All right, F this, man. Like, just give me the ball. I'm good now. Let's go." And that was cool.
Yeah. So anyway, if the Yankees ever have the lead late in a game again, it's nice to think that we can rely on Devin Williams.
I think so. I will say, and this is something I said right when we got Devin Williams, just comparing his strikeout rate, his walk rate, and his FIP in his career to a former Yankees closer, that being Aroldis Chapman. They are very, very similar. He's going to be that kind of pitcher. He's going to walk some guys. There's going to be some of those longer kind of grinding innings where he's almost always going to get out of it based on his track record, but he's, it's going to be Chapman-like at times. He goes about it differently. He doesn't throw 100+ miles an hour, but it's going to be similar in that he has crazy stuff, gets lots of whiffs, and it's going to walk some guys.
Yeah.
That's the pitcher.
And you know what? That is a proven way to be effective as a closer in Major League Baseball.
It's worked in the past for
a lot of guys.
Most big name closers, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very rare not to be that guy.
No, that's one of the funny things. Like, you don't want to walk people as a closer, certainly, but you also don't want to give up home runs as a closer in like a one-run game, right? And those two things are related. Just pounding the zone, home runs, right? I mean, so that there is a tightrope you have to walk there.
Yeah, and there are only so many like, yeah. I mean, that's where I was going. Like, there are only so many Zach Britton types where they can miss bats at a very high rate. And when contact is made, it is not dangerous.
Yeah.
Like that's a very special combination. That's why Clay Holmes was good. Not that we need to relitigate that, here. But
I miss him.
It's funny because if you describe that profile of like above average strikeout, any ball that gets hit is on the ground, maybe he's going to walk some guys, you'd be like, oh, that sounds awesome. And then people hated him. But I do think, like, going back to your observation that Yankees fans just don't watch other teams, which is obviously true.
Yeah,
like,
true.
They just exclusively compare guys to Mariano Rivera, and then
That's
they don't compare them.
Their only point of reference.
They don't compare them to what Mariano Rivera was actually like, even.
No. It's just an image, like. But it is funny. Yeah, it's like they only compare to Mo in this hypothetical closer that they'll see on like ESPN highlights or something. They're like, look at that guy closing down a game. Look at Mason Miller. It's like, all right, well,
exactly.
Those are kind of anomalies and things. Like, I don't know. I mean, they're mad without having any reference point for their anger. So if Yankees fans
did watch, Devin Williams was bad, but is good now, or was good most recently.
There's no reason to think he will continue to be bad. So that's where I'm at.
The last three batters of Devin Williams that we've seen, really, really good.
Really good.
About as good as it gets, I would say.
Was really hoping we'd see him today if the Yankees tied it or took a lead or something, but
he was warming up.
I hated the game today so much.
It was so bad. Thanks, Paul Goldschmidt.
It's actually one of my, even though the Detroit series just sucked my soul out, this game was one of my least favorite games of the year.
Well, blowing a lead just always hurts so much more.
But blowing a lead that way, just like, what were the batted ball data overall for the Giants today? They didn't do anything. They barely hit balls hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just maddening losing games like that. Just the cluster occurred perfectly.
Expected batting average 109 for the Giants.
God. I mean,
4 hits, 5 runs.
I wish I hadn't asked that question.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't need to see that. Yeah, I mean, the Yankees' expected batting average is only 231, but that's still...
The teams combined for 2 barrels.
Wow. That's pretty sad. I mean, the Yankees had so many opportunities to put on more runs. And
they did.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I mean, it's as much on the offense as it is on anything. They should have scored more runs today.
Yeah, they should have. This was like I understand Logan Webb is very good at pitching, but this was not like a great Logan Webb start by any stretch of the imagination.
No, they handled him really well. I feel like they had a lot
Which
of
they've
good
done
at-bats
before.
today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Judge always mashes him.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things I liked about what
Yep.
happened. And I'm encouraged about where Goldschmidt is. Goldschmidt's actually really interesting right now with what he's doing. Not doing what I expected him to do as a.
And what
as
did
a
you
Yankee.
expect?
I expected more of what a Goldschmidt type performance, or at least what he did last year, which is a lot of whiffs, but he hits the ball extremely hard and probably doesn't walk as much as you'd want. But he makes really good contact when he does, so he'll hit for some power. What we're getting is a guy who doesn't really whiff or K much, like at all,
or walk.
Yeah. He did walk today, and he struck out today. So that's and he still hits the ball fairly hard, but not as hard as he had. But he is just making so much contact. Like I think his xWOBA is like crazy high because of it.
It came into today at 429, which
nuts.
would be a career high.
What it resembles to me is 2016 Carlos Beltran. If you remember 2016 Carlos Beltran, I haven't actually looked at the Savant data, but what Beltran did in 2016 was give up walking and be uber aggressive, make tons of contact, and he had a really good first half that we traded him to the Rangers.
He did have a really good first half.
I don't know if it's going to resemble Goldschmidt at all, but that's what in my brain.
So Paul Goldschmidt right now is at a 6.5% walk rate and a 17.7% strikeout rate. Carlos Beltran 2016, 5.9% walk rate, 17% strikeout rate.
There you go.
So
he's sold out for a lot of contact. But still hit the ball fairly hard doing it. He wasn't just slapping the ball. So he didn't walk a lot, but he was hitting a lot of tanks, and that's not what Goldschmidt's doing right now, but still making good contact regularly.
And the impressive thing on the xWOBA front is, walks are really good for your xWOBA.
Yeah.
So what's encouraging relative to last year Goldschmidt is having that high in xWOBA and doing it all by hitting the ball really hard, which was like something we weren't sure he was going to do a ton of anymore.
Well, I think hitting the ball hard, we knew at least if he did what he did last year, he hit the ball really hard last year.
Hitting the ball hard at optimal angles.
But I think it was more just a frequency of hitting the ball hard for him, if I'm not mistaken. I think he just much.
His strikeout rate was only up 3% from 2023 to 2024. His walk rate was down. His xWOBA was down 40 points from his last 2 years.
Okay.
So less walks is part of the xWOBA going down, but like
you can see that the sweet spot and squared up percentages are ridiculous right now.
Yes, yeah, and his BABIP is crazy.
It's not.
Yeah,
gonna,
so
he's not going to hit 360 this year or whatever. But
no, he's not.
But I think he will slug more, and the batting average will go down. I think it'll change like that. But I mean, it's hard to not be somewhat encouraged. I wanted him to walk more. That's one thing
I'm
I
absolutely
said coming
encouraged.
into the year. But
yeah,
if he's not going to walk more, this is a decent way to trade it off. I think that's what he's had to do. I think this is why I brought up Beltran, was because he was another older
late
player
career
who had to,
reinvention. Yeah.
We saw a similar thing, different, but kind of similar from Joey Votto, where he stopped walking quite as ridiculous amount as he had when he
also decided to hit homers, which was cool.
He started to swing harder. Yeah, harder and just not walk as much. Be a little bit more aggressive. And you see that from guys that'll have like one great final season or something that'll change that approach around. So I'm hoping we get that from Goldie this year.
So I want to get us wrapped up here in a minute, but because you brought up Joey Votto, I want to raise a hypothetical.
I love Joey Votto so much.
Joey Votto's awesome. So in Joey Votto's last 2 seasons, he combined to hit 204, 317, 394 for a 94 WRC plus.
Yeah, he was bad there at the very end.
11.5% walk rate, but that was after his awesome season with a 140 WRC plus in 2021.
Yeah.
If Joey Votto got a spring training and were put on a major league roster today and given, I don't know, 300 plate appearances, how close to league average do you think he could be?
That's impossible to say. I mean, I don't know. I still was a believer he could do something before he got hurt or whatever.
It felt like he could.
Yeah. I mean, just because his plate discipline is just like like generationally elite.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, he's gonna walk. So I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like he could walk and slap singles. Even at this age, he'd just be able to do it.
Yeah,
I don't know. He might get close. True. I think he could be around a league average hitter.
Yeah, I bet he could be better than like 2024 Anthony Volpe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's funny. Plate discipline. Learn it. It's important. It's a message for you, Javier Baez. I'm so jealous that the Tigers have Glaber and Javi. Anyway, the Yankees play 7 home games in 2 different states this week, with 3 hosting the Royals and then 4 against the Rays.
Nice.
Steve, it's time to rate our confidence out of 10 in the 8-7 plus 18 run differential New York Yankees.
I don't even know, man. Where was I? I was at 8. Do I change? 8? Are you going to change?
No.
Yeah, I don't think enough has happened. And I feel like if we had won today, which I think they should have, I think the performance dictated a win, honestly, like of what I care about going forward. So I can't drop it because of today. So I'll stay at an 8.
The Yankees still lead the American League in run differential, so
they just got to pitch. Man, they got to pitch.
They do need to pitch, and we've seen some encouraging things.
Max Fried is so damn good.
Max Fried rules. Will Warren may be figuring it out. Carlos Rodon is doing some good things.
You see, Carlos Rodon can't be it's just where it's positioned. He can't be positioned as the project guy that we hope works out.
Clark Schmidt's coming back this week.
Yeah, Clark Schmidt's another guy that kind of only has half a season of being a
really
good pitcher.
Don't do that, Steve. That's not any fun. I'm so tired of this. There's
hey man, you asked me to be on this podcast, man. This is where I'm at.
But I don't think you think that Clark Schmidt isn't like a 2-WAR pitcher over the rest of the year, which would be a massive.
I don't know what Clark Schmidt is. Do you know what Clark Schmidt is? I don't know.
I have no claiming to know what Clark Schmidt is. I'm saying that I don't believe that you think he's much worse than what I just described.
I mean, if you're describing Carlos Carrasco or Marcus Stroman, then obviously no.
I think Clark Schmidt is like a 2-WAR pitcher over the rest of the season if he throws like 125 innings.
I just feel like Clark Schmidt was a little bit of like I still wanted to see the complete package from Clark Schmidt at the major league level, and we never really quite got it. Feel like he was there sort of last year for a bit, then he got hurt and came back and was okay, but not quite what he had been before he went down. I want to see sustained success from him, and until he does it, I'm just a little question marky for me. Hey man, what do you what did you are you what gives you such confidence that Clark Schmidt would be that level of pitcher?
The fact that in his
not that 2-WAR is some crazy 2-WAR probably.
Yeah. I'm not setting crazy expectations out here. I'm not saying he's going to get Cy Young votes. I'm not saying his ERA is going to be under 3. I think he could be like a mid to high 3s ERA guy who limits contact effectively enough and misses enough bats.
I don't love how many people he walked last year. I'm hoping he walks less this year.
He still had a 3.58 FIP last year.
Yeah, he was good. Like he was good last year. Don't get me wrong. He was good. I don't know.
2-WAR. You're fighting me over Clark Schmidt's going to be a 2-WAR player.
I'm not fighting you over 2-WAR. I'm not. No, I think he can.
And it's such a major upgrade. This is like putting.
It's a big upgrade.
This is like it's like putting a replacement level player at first base. Yes. You know, like anything Paul Goldschmidt does above 0 WAR is gravy.
No, it's very,
you know,
good. It's obviously
like
good.
when you look at it in the
good.
context of the rotation, it's even better. But I also think that Clark Schmidt is a legitimately like solid major league starting pitcher. I don't think there's any rotation Clark Schmidt couldn't crack.
That's an interesting question. There must be one out there.
Maybe there's one, but like Clark Schmidt could pretty much start on any major league baseball
good.
team.
I like Clark Schmidt. He is good. The reality is he has 16 starts of being a good pitcher. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm saying he's going to be a 2-WAR pitcher, and in his last 244 major league innings, he has 3.7 WAR.
I didn't explicitly argue against that.
Oh, okay. let me go on the record as saying Clark Schmidt might have 2 WAR.
I didn't say anything otherwise, man. I don't know. The pitching is pissing me off right now. It is.
But this is a different guy who hasn't pitched for them yet. So he hasn't made you mad yet this year.
No. I guess it's just, no, I don't even want to say it. It doesn't matter.
Any parting shots from you, Steve?
No, man, it's a pessimistic day for Steve here, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going third person. It's not a banner day. No, look,
Ricky would have had 60 by the break.
Look, I'm still really optimistic about the team. Honestly, even today, I'm more optimistic than I would have been. I still think there's a lot of things, even though he hasn't exactly been getting the results yet. A lot of things Bellinger is doing. We didn't talk about him. He looks like a bad version of
good Cody Bellinger.
Of good Cody Bellinger. Yeah, honestly,
so true.
That's what he looks like. He looks like a good Cody Bellinger who's failing right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That could be good. It could be terrible. Because if you look at like 21, 22 Cody Bellinger, God forbid we go back to something like that, that would be awful. But
I mean, I don't think we're gonna quite. I don't know. You never say never.
I really hope that doesn't happen. He would just start. He would go back to contact Cody before he did that. But
he would. Yeah.
But Jason kind of worries me a little bit. But he's been swinging the bat a little bit better. Volpe's kind of still took some walks, looking good.
Yeah.
I mean, the offense up and down. Really, Jazz hit a home run today, but a little worried about Jazz.
I mean, they have like the best offense in baseball.
They kind of do. And that's what's so funny is we spent so much of the offseason talking about how this might be a repeat of 2023 or 2021, when they were just all run prevention and no real offense. And it's been the exact opposite. They have no
shame on us because Ben Rice, we were on the Ben Rice thing and we didn't. Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, you're going to talk about what if they had Juan Soto? Well, like literally Ben Rice is doing what Juan Soto did last year right now. Yeah. I don't think that's going to continue, but he's on. Juan Soto's on the team right now.
To this point, Juan Soto has been on the team.
This is what would have been the case, except they wouldn't have had Max Fried. So
that's a good point. So things would have been dire.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So ultimately optimistic. We just need more data on everything. That's where we're at.
That's right. That is always the right approach. People can keep up with us at yankeesfiles.com. They can follow us on Twitter, where we are at Yankees Files. The podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts, with the added bonus of video if you're listening on Spotify. Rate, review, subscribe, whatever the appropriate thing is on that platform if you like it. Otherwise, just like juice our numbers, don't interact. Full video podcast is also available on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@crosstownsports. We'll be back similar time, similar place next week to recap the series that were against Kansas City and Tampa Bay. And until then, let's go Yankees.